Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Students, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's satsang, we will discuss what is true education. Education is meant to bring out your hidden talents and to enable you to discover your essential nature and fulfill the purpose of your existence. In so doing, you serve humanity in the best way possible. For the vast majority of people, however, the concept of education is extremely limited. People who have big titles or degrees from universities are recognized as educated people, and relatively speaking, that definition is fine, perfectly correct. However, from the point of view of the ideological and philosophical understanding of education, that definition is shallow. To simply have big degrees and a lot of recognition and titles does not imply that the person is educated in the true sense. To be educated in the more profound sense implies to be able to develop your human potential and higher human values, to be able to handle your mental stress, and to be able to live with people with adaptability, to develop the divine qualities of the soul, humility, devotion, goodness of the heart, compassion, selflessness. If these are lacking, then one is not educated. Let us relate a well known parable. Once a group of scholars entered a boat. One was a mathematician, another was a literary giant, another was a scientist. In the course of conversation, each asked questions of the boatman. The magician asked him, the mathematician asked him, have you ever read a treatise on mathematics, or have you had any experience with mathematics? And the boatman said, no, sir, I am a poor man just riding the boat, just counting some mangoes and vegetables, but nothing beyond that. The mathematician replied, then you have lost half of your life, since you have never had the joy and the thrill one experiences while possessing a mathematical talent. The boatman felt miserable and said, what can I do? I was born in a poor family, I could never be educated. Similarly, the scientist spoke about the wonderful strides taken in physics, chemistry, astronomy, and so many other branches. Do you have any idea, he asked the boatman, about the vastness of the knowledge in the sciences? And the boatman said, no, sir, I am just a poor man. Then you have lost half of your life by missing so much joy. And the literary man said, have you read Shakespeare or any other great poet? Have you experienced the joy of reading novels? The boatman replied, no, I have read nothing. I am illiterate. Now they all pitied him and he felt miserable as well. But as the boat proceeded on its course through the river, it was caught by a whirlpool and tossed it from side to side. At that point, the boatman said, do any of you know how to swim? Now we are in a difficult predicament and we may have to jump. And they all replied, no, 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 we don't know how to swim. The boatman said, well, in that case, now all of your lives are gone. The moral of the story is that you may have great talents. You may be a computer expert, you may be a great mathematician, you may be a CEO or a president, you may know how to erect a bridge or to build a condominium. But when certain problems develop at home, can you handle them? When you suddenly hear something shocking, the doctor informs you that you have a terminal disease, what happens to your mental balance? When some challenging situation actually develops in life, all your accomplishments do not come to your aid. Then you feel as if you are drowning. On the other hand, there are people who are not so educated from the academic. point of view, but they can handle stressful situations. They keep calm in adversity. They have a mature judgment in difficult situations. They can advise others. They radiate a sense of comfort and inspiration to others. Are not these people more educated than so many students that are being manufactured by so many universities year after year? The educational system, as it was in the Vedic times, was geared to enable a student to serve himself and society as well. Therefore, it was founded on discipline. Anyone who entered the school had to follow the path of brahmacharya, which meant a complete discipline of the body, the mind, and senses. To those in those times, every form of learning was called a Veda. If you were interested in martial arts, you studied Dhanurveda and you learnt archery under a guru who taught you mantras or secret formulas related to archery. First, he disciplined you well, and then, when he found you qualified, he taught you archery. If you were interested in medicine, you had to follow the disciplines of Ayurveda. Each branch of knowledge was considered a Veda, which implied that whatever you were learning, you learned from with humility and with the spirit of serving God in humanity, always keeping in view the goal of life, self realization. So, education and the four purposes of your life. In order to understand education in its integral way, you should understand the four purposes of life, which are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma, or the cultivation of ethical values, is the basic purpose of life and the foundation of education. All that you achieve and learn should be based on dharma or righteousness. You must possess a clear and sublime conscience. If dharma is not there, all your learning is in vain. If dharma is not there, all learning and accomplishments bring about a demoniac development. A person who is undisciplined and unethical may suddenly tumble upon an important discovery and be considered a great man in the eyes of others. However, from a philosophical and spiritual point of view, if his discovery is intended to become a source of misery for others, then that is a demoniac achievement. Therefore, education must have its roots in dharma or ethical concepts. The guiding line is an ideal educational system that must be to promote harmony and goodness in people. One should never step beyond the principles of non-violence, truth, and purity. Greed, violence, passion, they must not be given license, but they are to be controlled. If a student starts his studies as a doctor, for example, with his mind set upon the idea that one day I'm going to be a millionaire and drive a Rolls Royce, then he is off to a poor start in the light of dharma. Although he may set up a wonderful dispensary or hospital, if money is his main inspiration, then his medical attainment is not the product of true education. Although that is the type of education that the majority of people are seeking now, it is still not real education. People crave for pleasure, and pleasure seems to be the goal of the present educational process. Students dream of having lots of money and power, the wealth to go anywhere they want, and the resources to own anything they want. However, an education that caters mostly to these values is not true education. And an intellect that schemes for these things is called bhoga buddhi, meaning an intellect that only wants enjoyments. There is an ancient saying from the Mahabharata, Sukratina Kuto Vidya. There is no knowledge for one who loves comfort. Sukha. Sukha means comfort. If you are a lover of pleasure and comfort, there is no knowledge for you. But if you are if you are not qualified for education in that instance, because you don't value the disciplinary steps. Kuto vidyarthiha sukham. On the contrary, if you are a student, how can there be comfort? There is no comfort for you if you truly seek knowledge. So, to shun comfort and luxury is not a miserable development, but rather a joyful development. So, we will continue this journey in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.